Happy Friday. Welcome, guys. My name is DK. We got a 13-game slate in this video that we'll be breaking down. If it's your first time watching, cover content for DFS and for player prop sites like PrizePicks, Underdog, and Parlay Play. Guys, if you're not on Parlay Play, you can use the link down below for a $100 deposit match bonus. It'll also be linked in the description. You can use the code DK DFS as well. If you do click the link and deposit, it does help support the channel. And if you guys are looking for more content, you can check out my Patreon link down below, whether it be for prop stuff or for DFS. As far as prop stuffs go, so once again, we hit our YouTube play for the 5th straight time, 10-0 run there, so that was nice to see. DFS did not cash, had some exposure in the late game. That game turned into a massive blowout. I did have Halliburton who smashed. I had a couple guys that did well, but I had Bruce Brown, unfortunately, was a bust. So, yeah. Also, I apologize if I don't sound like myself. I'm just honestly kind of mind blown of what I know, and I really don't really know. I can't share a ton of details on it, too, but basically, I had a whole PrizePicks police video up, had all the evidence, and then something happened, and I know what happened, and it just completely blows my mind. And I can't believe what happened. But I can't share anything. I really can't. I got to decide what I'm going to do about it. But yeah, so that's if I sound a little bit different, I'm just literally like I'm still mind blown of what I know, and I wish I could share more information with you guys. All right, so let's just talk about. Let's get right into it. 13 games. Toronto and Charlotte. Good matchup here for Toronto. You got Barnes at 8.8K, Siakam at 8.1. Both firmly in play. Both should play mid to high 30s minutes if this game does stay competitive. Since it's being played at Charlotte, the game should stay competitive. Schroeder, OG, Jakob Poeltl, all kind of just reasonable options in the mid-range. You're going to have Precious Achiuwa back up Poeltl, but his minutes have not been amazing of late. Gary Trent Jr. is a fine contrarian value play. He should play mid-20s minutes, and he does have nice eligibility there. Talking about Charlotte, so still no LaMelo. So Rozier at 8.4K, someone I'm going to have interest in, has been playing big minutes in competitive games. Should see around, close to 40 minutes. He's played 40 minutes in 2 of the last 3 games now. Bridges, Hayward, both reasonable options here in the mid-range. Mark Williams, also questionable. That's significant news. If Mark Williams does not play, you're going to see Nick Richards start at the 5. If Richards starts at the 5, I think he's a solid value even at this price point. Then you would see PJ Washington play some backup 5. He played 29 minutes last game, so he would benefit as well. All right, Detroit and Orlando. So this Detroit team is just a mess. Duran's out. We'll see what they do with the starting lineup. Are they going to start Stewart at the 5? Are they going to move Bagley or Wiseman in there? I have no idea. Whoever starts the 5, I'm going to have interest in here for Detroit. As far as the other guys go, Cade Cunningham, 8.3K. Don't love the spot for him. Bojan, 6.5. Played 32 minutes, so it looks like there's no longer a limit on him. I just don't think he's a decent option. Stuart Thompson is 5.8. Just the minutes have not been there for him since he moved to the bench. Killian Hayes has been starting, played 27 minutes. He's reasonable. Don't really know if I get to anyone else. Really, I just want to see who ends up starting for Duran. If it's one of Wiseman or Bagley, we're going to have interest there. And then, yeah, I think Stewart could play some 5 as well. On the Orlando side, so no Carter, no Markelle Fultz. Jonathan Isaac is questionable, and Jalen Suggs is questionable. Now, if Jalen Suggs misses, I assume they're going to start Gary Harris. Gary Harris started in the second half last game. And you should get a minutes bump for Cole Anthony as well. As far as the main guys go, Paolo, 8.3. Franz at 7.9. I do prefer Paolo to Franz if I was picking between the two. But both guys are in a good spot here. Cole Anthony, if there's no Jalen Suggs, would like him a little bit more. Would expect, around 30 minutes from him. Gary Harris, 4.9. I think I would only consider him if there is no Jalen Suggs. But even so, that I just don't love the price point on Gary Harris, low usage guy. You're going to have Bataz, Mo Wagner splitting the center position. Ingles should play 15 to 20 minutes. I don't think it's necessary to go there. Atlanta and Philly. Trae Young news is the big one. If he misses, you're going to see DeJounte Murray get a pretty significant bump. And then my guess is this the shift Bogdan Bogdanovic into the starting lineup. So, yeah. Trae Young's out. I really like DeJounte Murray. He would be a phenomenal play at the price point. Bogdanovic should also look great. And then everyone else would look good too. Bay, Hunter probably play a little bit more. Also, one thing to note, Atlanta has been playing a little bit of Capella and Okongwu alongside each other. I know because it tilts me because I had Okongwu under rebounds and he was playing alongside Capella. So that put me on tilt mode. And then I don't know if I can get to any of these value plays like Wes Matthews or Garrison Matthews. I just don't think I can stomach that in this slate. But if Trae's out, the main Hawks all look really good. On the Philadelphia side, you got Embiid and Maxey. I mean, Embiid has just been dominant of late, and I like the matchup for him here. So, yeah, I really like Joel Embiid. Tyrese Maxey's playing huge minutes as well. He looks solid. You got Harris and Melch in the mid-range, both reasonable options. Kelly Oubre, 5.6, was on a limit in his first game back. We'll keep an eye on the news there. If he's no longer in a limit, then he could be a little bit interesting. Washington and Brooklyn. So the Wizards, you got Gafford status up in the air, DeLon Wright out, Landry Shamet out. If Gafford's out, we'll see what they do. They can start Kuzma at the 5. We've seen that before. They can start Muscala. Gallinari can play some 5. So we'll see what they do if Gafford does miss. As far as the main guys go, Kuzma 8.5K, I find contrarian play. Same with Jordan Poole. Price points aren't great on either of these two. Denny feels priced about right. Tyus Jones had a couple good games of late. But again, his minutes have not been amazing. Koulibaly 4.5. I think is an okay value, as is Kispert. These guys are firmly in the rotation. Gallinari, if there is no Gafford, might play a little bit at the 5, so he could be an interesting value play. And then maybe we're considering Mike Muscala. Again, we'll see what they do with starting 5. Gafford is out. On the Brooklyn side, so Cam Thomas, I have no comment on that game that we saw from him last game. Literally no comment. Bridges 8-7. I mean, all these Nets are in a great spot here. Bridges has been playing really well of late. Dinwiddie at 7-6. The minutes have not been amazing the minutes were not amazing on him last game. That was a little bit concerning. Cam Thomas, again, was horrific, but we know the ceiling is there for him. So would I be surprised if Cam Thomas bounces back with a huge game? No, it's definitely in the range of outcomes. Nick Claxton, 6.6, should play around 30 minutes. There's just times where the minutes, they kind of troll those minutes and go to like Watford or Day'Ron Sharp. It's just play Nick Claxton 35 minutes. Stop doing that. Cam Johnson should play around 30 minutes, kind of just indifferent on him. I don't think I'm going to get to Jordan Finney-Smith or Royce O'Neal. Again, Day'Ron Sharp's playing some backup 5, 4.6K. Again, I guess he's playable. All right, New York and Boston. So on the New York side, Randall, Brunson, both more contrarian plays for me. Randall had a huge game last game. Brunson was a little bit quiet. Barrett, just GPPs. Mitchell Robinson, 5.6. Should play around 30 minutes. Secondary play for me. Josh Hart's minutes have been up of late. He's been playing close to 30 minutes in competitive games. So I think he's like an interesting option there in the mid-range. Don't really know if I get to anyone else, though. On the Boston side, so we got to keep an eye on Porzingis news. He's currently questionable. Porzingis misses, we know what's going to happen, right? They're going to start Tatum, Brown, Holiday, White, Horford. You're going to see more minutes for guys like Hauser and Pritchard. You saw Cornette have a huge game last game in limited minutes. He could be a viable value. But yeah, as far as the main guys go, Tatum, Brown, neither really stand out. Their respective price points, they're going to look a little bit better than no Porzingis. You got Holiday 6.9, Derek White 6.7, Horford 6.4. There's no Porzingis. They're all reasonable. I don't think anyone really stands out though to me for Boston. Again, you saw a big game from Cornette. He would be playable if there is no Porzingis. Hauser should see 20 plus minutes off the bench. Pritchard probably sees around that, assuming there is no Porzingis. If Porzingis is back, then I'm probably just going to stay away from this team. Porzingis himself would be interesting if he's not on a limit, so we'll keep an eye on that news. Cleveland, no LeVert. Evan Mobley's questionable, so this is big. I don't really know what Cleveland's going to do if Evan Mobley's out. They'd probably go Dean Wade in the starting lineup, I would guess, but they could go small, maybe throw a Coro in there. But yeah, if Mobley's out, it's going to make everyone look better. I think Jared Allen will see a slight minutes bump. He would be solid in the mid-range. Mitchell Garland get a slight usage bump. Strus look a little bit better. Obviously, these value wings will look better depending on what they do with the starting lineup. If it is Dean Wade, yes, he's playable, but gosh, it is just so painful to roster Dean Wade in 2023. Yang, again, Okoro, these guys look a little bit better if there is no Mobley. For Miami, no Bam, no Hero. Duncan Robinson is probable. Jimmy Butler, 9.3. Feels priced about right. I know he's going to do everything for the team, but Caleb Martin had the huge game last game. I would say that was a bit of an outlier performance from him, but he's most likely going to start again. Jaime Jaquez should see decent minutes on the bench. Would expect around 30 from him. Kyle Lowry, 5.7, should see around 30 minutes. You got Orlando Robinson, who did see 33 minutes, which was a bit of a surprise to me. If they continue to play him around 30 minutes a game, then obviously I do like Orlando Robinson, because there was a quote a couple games ago where Spoelstra was actually planning to play 3 centers. And then because of the way that the game flowed, he ended up only playing 2. So I thought there was a chance he would see Thomas Bryant last game. You didn't. And Orlando Robinson played 33 minutes. So he's someone that I definitely have my eye on. Now, is it guaranteed he plays those minutes? No. They could go to Kevin Love. They could dust off Bryant. That's definitely still possible. But yeah, Orlando Robinson is definitely interesting. But yeah, a lot of these wings look similar to me for Miami. Richardson, Martin, Jaquez. All right, let's move on to Minnesota, Memphis. You got Anthony Edwards, 9.3, Karl-Anthony Towns at 9K. I like the matchup for both of these guys. Price point isn't amazing on either. You got Gobert at 7.4K. He's been playing better of late, 40 plus now in 3 of the last 4 games. My boy Naz Reid has played well off the bench. He's also been playing some alongside. They've been playing some 3 big lineups, so we know how good of a point per minute guy Naz Reid is. No thank you on NAW, passing slow-mo. No one else I'm really looking to there. On the Memphis side, Bane had a massive game last game, 75 fantasy points. We know that is in the range of outcomes. We know the ceiling that he has without John Morant, so still viable option. Jaren Jackson Jr. is always just a headache to roster because he's so foul prone. But the ceiling is there for him. Aldama's been playing 25 to 30 minutes on the bench, but he feels priced right. You're going to see Biyombo, Tillman split center position. Derrick Rose started, but only played 15 minutes. The value's pretty gross here with guys like Roddy. Noel, of course, had a bounce back game. You knew that was going to happen, right? When he was chalk, 34 minutes, 3 of 12. No one played him next game, 26 minutes, 6 of 8 shooting. Like, it's just clockwork, man. It's like clockwork. They're playing a lot of guys in this bench, so I'll probably pass it everyone else. Golden State, Oklahoma City, not much here for Golden State. Steph Curry's always in play for tournaments for me. Draymond Green at 6.9 should see around 30 minutes, but that's a correct price point in my opinion. Clay's been awful. Wiggins has been struggling. Guys like Moody and Kuminga have been playing well, but how many minutes can we expect from them? I guess Moody's a little bit interesting. 28, 32, 26 minutes over the last 3 games. Kuminga was not even in the rotation, then played a lot in the second half. Like, I just don't know what Steve Kerr's doing with this rotation right now. Oklahoma City, you got SGA at 10-6. Is always someone I have interest in just because of the ceiling that he provides the floor as well. Usually a guy that has a pretty high floor plus ceiling. Chet Holmgren, didn't have the best game last game, but still did have 6 blocks and a steal. What else? Giddy 5.8. The minutes have been down on him. Jalen Williams at 6.2. Should see around 30 minutes. I don't know if there's much else here. Isaiah Joe's 4.3. His minutes have been a little bit up and down. Cason Wallace, he has played a little bit more of late. I guess he's a little bit interesting. The big Jalen Williams minutes, probably not enough for me to consider him. Chicago and San Antonio, still no Levine, so I like DeRozan. I like Vooch here in a good spot. Both guys should play mid to high 30s minutes. So like both DeRozan and Vooch, I assume DeRozan's be a lot more popular than Vooch based on what we saw of ownership last game. Kobe White should also play big minutes, but at 7.1K, that feels like a correct price point for him. Pat Williams, 5.2. I don't know if it's necessary to go there. You got Caruso, 5.1. Did play 30 minutes last game. If he plays some more minutes, I would have some interest in Caruso. Drummond's going to back up Vooch. Torrey Craig, no thank you on that. On the San Antonio side, the last game, they switched up the starting lineup. They started Vassell at the point and moved Chetty into the starting lineup. I don't know what Popovich is doing. 8.8K for Wembanyama is always in play here for tournaments. Keldon, Zach Collins, Vassell, all more secondary plays. Sohan moved to the bench. I'll pass on him. Chetty Osman moved in the starting lineup. Did play 32 minutes, so I do have a little bit of interest in Chetty Osman. He also did a lot of the ball handling. Did have 6 assists, so you might get some point Chetty here for the San Antonio Spurs. I think he's a viable value. Houston and Denver, you got Şengün, who had a huge game last time these two teams matched up against each other. Or wait. There's this game at 56. So last game he didn't do that much with that. It was 2 games ago. We went for almost 60 against Denver. But yeah, you guys know I always have interest in my boy Şengün. Van Fleet's going to play huge minutes. That is the one positive here for Van Fleet. So he's always in play. You got Green, Jabari Smith, more secondary plays. Dylan Brooks. I don't know if it's necessary to get to these other wings. Tari Eason should play around 20 minutes. I guess he's a fine value play. He's a good point per minute guy. On the Denver side, Jamal Murray is probable, but I assume they're still going to take it somewhat easy on his minutes. Nikola Jokic, 12K. Price went down on him. Sign me up for 12K Jokic against the Rockets. So yeah, I like Jokic a good amount. Everyone else feels a little bit too pricey though with Jamal Murray back. All right, a few games left, Sacramento and Phoenix. So you got Sabonis, you got Fox. These two are going to run the offense. Like the matchup here for both. So yeah, you got my two boys going up against each other, Sabonis versus Nurkic. But yeah, Sabonis, Fox, I think both look like solid options. The wings, if I had to play one, probably would be Malik Monk, who's, again, minutes have been solid off the bench. 28, 28, 32. If he continues to play, high 20s minutes, I'm going to have interest in a 6K Malik Monk. All right, let's talk about Phoenix. So Phoenix is relatively short-handed here. No Durant, no Beal, no Allen. So Devin Booker looks great at 10-1. Obviously, there's been a lot down last game. Dealt with some foul trouble. Also, they were just double-teaming him every time. But this matchup with no KD, no Beal, sign me up for some Booker. And then my boy Nurkic, if he stays out of foul trouble, I think he plays low 30s minutes. He'll probably be one of the main guys here on offense. I expect Eric Gordon to be the secondary playmaker behind Booker. 6.3K, still have interest in him. And then it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the starting lineup. But a lot of these wings and Goodwin, too, are firmly in play. Goodwin, Okogie, Bates, Diop, Nasir, Little, Watanabe. I'm curious to see what they do exactly with the starting lineup. But these guys are going to get a minutes bump with Grayson Allen and Kevin Durant off the court. Clippers and Jazz, same thing I always say about the Clippers. Paul George, Kawhi Harden, all firmly in play. The issue is trying to figure out who it's going to be on a night-out basis. You got Zubac and Daniels Tice splitting the center position. Zubac does have a higher ceiling. He is interesting in GPPs. On the Utah side, the Utah team's pretty bad. No marketing still. Kelly Olynyk is questionable. Also, Jordan Clarkson is questionable. Both those guys are back. I'll probably stay away. If they're both out again, then maybe we can start considering, my boy Keontae George. This team is just so gross. It pains me to talk about this team. You got like Fettuccine Alfredo playing big minutes. It's like I don't know what they're doing in the rotation. Also, I have no idea. Like Hendricks is getting dusted off. He's now in the rotation. Like I don't know what the Jazz are trying to do. I literally don't. And finally, Dallas and Portland. So Luka has been insane last couple games. I mean, going for a triple-double at halftime with Kyrie Irving is wild. Great matchup here for Luka. I have no issue if you want to continue to ride that hot streak. Kyrie Irving, I'd rather play Luka for a bit more. You got Hardaway, always just kind of there. Derek Lively, should see mid-high 20s minutes. He's viable for tournaments, but he is super, super foul-prone. I don't know if I can stomach these wings like a 5K Derrick Jones Jr. Dante Exum started last game. I guess see if he starts again, that he would be a little bit interesting. But yeah, let's finish up with Portland. So Portland got no Grant. DeAndre Ayton is doubtful. Malcolm Brogdon is questionable. Yeah, if Malcolm Brogdon's out, I assume Scoot Henderson would start, and they would go Scoot, Simon, Sharp, Kamara, and Duop Reith, which is just an insane starting lineup to even mention. But Simon's my preferred option here at 6.8K. Played 37 minutes last game, so I do like Simon's a good amount. Shaden Sharp should play massive minutes no matter what, so he's firmly in play. Scoot Henderson's not been great, but if there's no Brogdon, he should see a minutes bump. He would be viable. Jabari Walker and Duop Reith split the center position. Duop Reith played 22 minutes. I like him for value if he starts again. Jabari Walker played off the bench. Walker did deal with some foul trouble. I like the ceiling more with Walker, but he is a little bit more expensive. You got Kamara. You got Thibault. These guys should play decent minutes, probably around 30 for Kamara. Thibault played some decent minutes as well. Those two are viable options. You even saw Chris Murray get dusted off and play a little bit. I don't think I can stomach playing him, though. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for the video. As always, if you do enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm going to try to get a prize picks video up after this. And then I got to clear my head. I got to go to bed. But yeah, appreciate you guys as always. We'll see you in the next video.